not working. Why isn't it working? Oh my god! Ah! We're fine. Do France, Canada right now. Okay, that was weird. Mine didn't automatically take me to where I was supposed to go. What the fuck? Okay, now we're here. Hey, gang. What up? What up, everybody? We'll let some people gather while I set up some things. Okay, so I need to stop my Warhammer. If anyone is wondering, wait, Alfredino, he was not there last round. I sound like it's team mistake. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I will explain, Rocket. I will explain. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Go away. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. So that's done. Bam. And then we have Viva la France. Okay. There's your team. Let's go. Cool format. It is a great format, brother. Oh, stretch. Oh. I don't trust you to explain. Yeah, Rocket in the chat, very upsetty spaghetti. I have not explained something yet. Alfredino, if you watch the previous France versus USA, you might be like, wait, Alfredino's on this team? I did mention in that stream multiple times that France, some of these teams have a 6 or a 7-man roster, and they're swapping people out between each round, which is allowed. Alfredino was not able to play, and I was joking that it would be funny if on their first week they got knocked out because Alfredino, like, objectively their best player, because I think he's the best player in the world right now, in land battles and conquest. Domination, I don't know the scene that well. But it'd be funny if they just didn't field their best player week 1, because I think he was busy, and then they get knocked out by USA, and it's like, oh fuck, I have Alfredino. They just have a sub, no cheating here. No cheating at all. All right, I'll do the usual spiel in a second. Just checking my Discord quickly. I have a message from Scarbrand because I think he's mad at me. Yeah, he's mad at me. Oh god, Scarbrand's mad at me. 74 people here. Let's get started now. Again, for the people in VOD land, that's why we're jumping around to these really short streams that are about an hour long a piece in the World Cup format. Some people just honestly don't care about certain matchups, so they skip it. We do these nice and short streams so that people can log on to see the matchups they want to see. But that also means I need to explain the World Cup each time because I don't know which times people have clicked on a VOD for the first time. Welcome to the World Cup. As you can see, we're pretty damn far in it, so if this is the first one you're watching, you missed a lot of great content. Maybe go back and watch some of those if you feel like. If not, welcome. We're in the final quarterfinal. It is France versus Canada to join the semifinals. Now, Team America World Police, which is just USA 1 versus Switzerland, is well underway. Mexico versus Blank is also well underway in the real world. Those games are already getting scheduled. And as you can see, their deadline is actually in 2 days, so those should be done soon-ish. But today we get to figure out who wins between France and Canada. I know who wins. I don't remember the score. I have not watched any of the replays ahead of time, so I don't know how they happen. My reactions will be genuine, though I do know which team eventually wins with whatever score it may be. There will not be streams like this for semifinals and finals. Those I will gather up and do on one big day with just the title, the finals, or whatever for the World Cup. So we'll do the semifinals and finals all together at one date. The deadline for all plays to be done is February 10th. You can kind of see it behind that little challenge thing. So between now and February 10th, whenever the games are done, we'll do all these final things. Right. For today, we have a matchup, and you will not see the Ogre Kingdoms, because I think France is legitimately the only team to ban them, and as this event has gone on, this is a sweaty, try-hard event. Everyone is doing their best to win, and we have seen a lot of Ogres. Ogres are very strong. Canada banned the Dwarves. You will not see them today either. On one side, we have Persian Warrior, Razal, Alfredino, Rocket Bro, and Catholic Alcoholic. On the other side, Central Scrutinizer, Black Knight, Lenor, Goldenfloof, and Rusto. The World Cup covers all 3 game modes because all 3 game modes are played in the world. Yay! We have land battles, conquest, into domination. I was going to mention something else, but what is it? Oh yes! All 5 games will get played no matter what! Because these games are not played in order, they were played scheduling as you can with your opponent. It was impossible to keep track of what was played when and when a 3-0 or a 3-1 or a 3-2 happened. And also, people took the time out of their day to practice their matchups and schedule with their opponent, so it would be kind of fucked up to say, never mind, your game doesn't matter, don't play it. So all 5 games will be played no matter what. So do not tune out if you see it's turning into a 3-0 or something. You might be like, man, fuck this stream, I'm out. Hey, bro, there's 2 more games to go. How dare you? How dare you? Let's get into it with Persian Warrior versus Central Scrutinizer. And I believe my good friend Rocket has been sending me all these replays, so I am pretty sure that France is going to be on the left side, but let me pull up their replays here. You can see France 1 through 5, he just sent them all as a pile when the matches were done. Yes, it will be France on the left. And Canada on the right. Canada. My Canada, Canada, Canada. It's Persian versus Scroot right away, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So this is the right game. Let's do it. Vampire Coast versus the Lizardmen. Used to be an unwinnable matchup for the Lizardmen, and then a lot of updates have happened since that was considered that way. The colonies are challenging us. Which faction gets banned the most? Dwarves? I think dwarves get banned the most. Yeah. Alright, hopefully it's not still cutting out for people. For the Vampire Coast of Persian Warrior, we have hand cannons and hand guns in the front line, 2 deck gunners in the back, the Night Terrors, Lamper's Revenge, and then some animated Hulks. Celestia Dirafon on foot with just her Crab Summon, Tide Call, and her Night Summon. And then a front line of a couple zombies. On the other side, for Central Scrutinizer and Canada, he's going to try and use the trees to advance as much as possible without being seen. We have red-crested skinks, skink cohorts, and skink skirmishers. We do have 2 quaddles. After they got their collision damage changes, they can cause a lot of disruption and do a lot of damage. They're not like crazy OP, but they went from being niche to being just generally quite good. And then we have a Salon of Metal, Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom, all 3 very good spells versus the Coast, and the Salon has enough Winds of Magic Generation with Greater Arcane Conduit to usually get off whatever spells he needs. But Celestia in particular is horrible against Final Transmutation. Tiny HP pool and no spell resistance or ward save. She relies on physical resistance, which obviously a spell goes straight through. She will die super fast to Final Trans. Four bloated corpses. No, not 4 bloated corpses. Those are animated Hulks. We're sorry for deceiving you. Unless they go the Mangler Squig route and all of these animated Hulks are actually just bloated corpses. You make a multi-entity bloated corpse thing. As the skinks are sneaking up, we will play at a ×2 speed until they get a little closer. It's just... Central Scrutinizer is just moving his skinks up in the trees. That's all that's happening. Now, one of his flanks is falling back. He's trying to retreat away as the Coast kind of walk towards him. It looks like he's just trying to get his darts out for free while he can. I'm a little concerned if he takes too much time, the deck gunners will finally start shooting. I think Persian should have been shooting with his deck gunners this whole time at the skinks you can see, just to punish Scroot. For every second he takes to come fight you, you get free damage on the skinks. This is not the type of game where the deck gunners are going to run out of ammunition. It's not like you have to keep their ammo safe. Deck gunners are getting to shoot at skinks on their way out. Those penetrating bullets sniping out a lot of these little mini lizards. The little geckos. And the dart skinks used their darts on deckhands mobs, taking about half their HP off. But in comes the quaddles. Now, is his other flank going to collapse at the same time? No. See, that was what I was worried about when he backed off. Now his micro has to be like really on point to get this flank to collapse at the same time. And you see all of his units on this side are moving, but that side they're not moving. They're not coming in just yet. And that could be a problem. If the Coast is allowed to turn all of its guns one direction and absolutely mess up some of your units and then turn and kill your other half your army, that's brutal. So with shooting factions, you have to get your collapse in just right. Nice Chain Lightning bound from the Quaddle. Does get good damage on the hand cannons. Takes about half their HP off, but the Quaddle has lost a third or more of its HP. And this isn't a healing Lizardman build. It's not just like, whatever, regrowth it, you'll be fine. This side has to move. Not for rules. I'm not saying he's breaking the rules. It just has to fucking move because it's half of his army. As this fight is in deep. Still some of the bound spells from the Salon and from the Quaddle, killing off more handguns. I guess that's fine, but you're just taking so much damage, and half your army is not participating. Now they're starting to walk, but it's still going to take them a while to get involved. Now, thankfully for the Lizards, the coast hasn't moved more resources over here. Like, these deck gunners haven't been shooting or anything like that. Night Terror is actually going to snipe out Skink Skirmishers. That's just nice. They were stalked and ran up on Skink Skirmishers. You'll love to see that, but I would like to see from the coast more deck gunner support, and it looks like now it's starting to turn over, because they really needed to exploit that half the army wasn't participating in the battle more, and they just didn't have a good time doing it. Banishment? Yeah, banishment from the Salon as the handgunners try and shoot at him, but he is fighting over a hill just slightly, so the zombies having a bit of difficulties with obstructions. Just a bit. As animated hulks are getting pincushioned by these little Skink Skirmishers. They're only 500 gold, so I guess them dying isn't a big deal. But the Salons and the Quaddles bound spells have been absolutely wrecking the range of the Vampire Coast. So still Lizardmen coming out on top, and now this other side is finally starting to get in here. The animated hulks taking a lot of damage, and the Quaddle flies straight through. The hand cannons trying to pivot onto the Quaddle, but they're not fast enough, as a chain lightning should disrupt the formation of the handgunners and stop them from lighting up the Quaddle. The Quaddle flies over the hand cannons. Nice juke to go over their heads, but I'm so concerned if you try and kill these deck gunners, the hand cannons are going to shoot you in the back. But I guess Quaddles are nice and squirrely, getting very far away. Hand cannons lose a lot of damage the further you get away from them. They're much more like shotgun units. So staying at the edge of their range generally makes you quite safe. As Celostra uses some summons to try and keep these guys online. The Lizard's doing a really, really good job shutting a ton of stuff down, as Celostra's Damn Knight Errant Summon is chasing down the Salon. And as we've discussed a lot recently, Salons do not have ITP. They can actually terror out away from these Knights quite easily. Now, thankfully, the edge of the map is quite far away, but still, that is going to be a lot of good damage onto the Salon. And once again, this is not a healing Lizardman build, so that damage will stick. Celostra burning summons like there's no tomorrow does also artificially inflate the balance of power for the Vampire Coast a bit, so the fact that it's even and there's 2 or 3 summons out is a little concerning. Damn Knights are in 20 seconds left, almost dead, but they have routed the Salon, and there they go. They disappear once and for all. Quaddle saves the Salon, Salon will come back. Lamp's Revenge are killing off red-crested Skinks, other Skinks flooding the back line, and the Vampire Coast's range is mostly in combat with stinky, smelly little Skinks. Those things might be undead, but they're still ogres. Ogres, my lord! So the Salon just needs to fall back and stay alive. The Night Terrors and the Lamper's Revenge are very healthy, which is quite concerning for the Lizardmen. They don't have a lot of stuff to kill them. Quaddles do not want to fight the Lamper's Revenge. They don't want to fight the Night Terrors. That's really the only hope I see for the Vampire Coast, is just if those 2 healing, monstrous, damage-dealing units can kill everything. Because the Skinks are such a depleted force that the terror that comes from the Night Terrors will be very brutal. Another Thunderbolt summon from the Quaddle, plus a good charging from him should take out that handgunner and keep him relatively safe. Salon is nice and low. It looks like the Night Terrors are even going after him. The Night Terrors have the extra advantage of Frostbite, 30% slow, plus their chilling aura 30% slow, and it looks like they're naturally faster than the Salon. They are gonna catch that Salon, and he's probably gonna die. There's no way the Skinks can peel enough for him. They can't do enough damage to kill the Night Terrors before they reach him. The chilling aura, I saw it briefly tickle his bum. There we go, he's chilling aura again, so now the Salon down to 23 speed. As soon as the Frostbite makes contact, it'll probably go down to, like, I'm guessing 16? What's slowing you guys down? Catch him! Catch his ass! There you go. He gets frostbitten, he's down to 13 speed. And Cold Blood is needed to keep him in the fight. The Quaddles are coming over. They're going to have to both fight the Night Terrors and take him out. But the Night Terrors might just force path onto the Salon and kill him. Because all of a sudden, without the Salon, if you lose that leadership, the terror provided by Celostra and the Night Terrors could rout off a lot more Skinks a lot easier. Salon is dead officially. The balance of power stays dead even as Celostra uses probably her last summon. No, she's using a little chill wind over there. What the Tide Call. She used the Tide Call. And some of the Skinks. Lamper's Revenge are full HP. Who knows how much they've been healing, but they are currently at full HP. Night Terror's heal cap is in sight. They're taking a lot of damage, though, from fighting atop all these Skinks and double Quaddles. It is too much for the little Night Terror bodies to withstand. They're just spooky red skeletons, guys. They're not gods. But they're doing decent damage. And they sniped out the Salon, which is all Celostra really asked of them. For the Lizardmen, we have Skink Skirmishers with a decent amount of ammunition left. We have 2 Quaddles, one is at half HP, one's at a quarter. And then we have some Skinks with varying amounts of health. Quaddles can gank Celestra, though? Yeah. Maybe. Court of Sotek, dying to animated hulks. Slowly, but they are dying. Lamprey's Revenge coming in, firing their shotguns at these guys down the line. Down to 13 models. Animated hulks, maybe taking some friendly fire from those shotguns. Not sure they're particularly enjoying it. And Celostra's just going to stay nice and nestled in Lamprey's Revenge. Make someone come to her. She does have one summon left. She does have Tide Calls, and she has the Kiss of the Deep passive, so the more spells she casts, the more she's going to just slowly attrition this whole map of skinks. The Lizards still have 1,000 troops versus 57 of the Vampire Coast, and it's dead even. There's a nice Tide Call down. I like that a lot. Again, spamming out that Kiss the Deep passive on the whole army is quite nice, and getting the skinks really low. Lampreys and Celestra are a good combo. Because like I was mentioning earlier with the Night Terrors, Lampreys don't actually cause terror. She does. So as long as they keep her safe, she can tear out off all the little chaff. Animated hulks, crumbling, then not crumbling, then crumbling, then not crumbling. Skink skirmishers, one volley should get these guys to permanently crumble. And they're just on borrowed time. I'm going to times 2 speed quick as these guys walk forward slowly. Da 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 da. The Quaddle jumps in, he charges Celestra and he misses. Now he's surrounded by crabs with shotguns, and that's gonna be a bad time. Holy shit, he's gonna die. Oh my god, he's gonna die. That is a dead-ass boy. Quaddle's going down hard. Vampire Coast take the lead on the balance of power, and I would honestly agree. Like, I would honestly agree that this many skinks will have issues killing Lamprey's Revenge. The Quaddle gets no hits onto Celestra. He misses everything, then gets surrounded in gun crabs and beaten to death. It looks like he's flying above him, but that is fraudulent and a lie as another Tide Call hits 2 skinks on the way in. The Kiss of the Deeps damages some others, gets Red Crested skinks to rout, gets the skink skirmishers to rout. Animated hulks hanging on to their life for now as the Quaddle's pushed off. What was once half HP is now down to like a sixth, and it's still getting shot by shotguns on the way out. Other skinks are starting to terror out, and that is gonna honestly be GG. The Night Terrors cause terror. Yes, they do. The Lamprey's Revenge don't cause terror. Quaddle is routing off. Animated hulks will die, but there's no shot. Like, there's zero chance the rest of these lizardmen can kill the Lamprey's Revenge. There's no armor piercing left here, and the Red Crest skinks they do have are too low to withstand terror. I'm going to fast forward as the crabs are just chasing the Quaddle and using their shotguns. But they can't do it. They can't do it. Every Tide Call is just closer to army losses. Skinks line up their shots. They do no damage to Lamprey's Revenge as they charge in. Another Tide Calls out, and one more skink routes. It's going to be army losses. There they all go. It's GG. He suicided the Quaddle at the end. Yeah, that was a bit of a whoopsie with the Quaddle. Celestra did very well. Slann was never able to get in range to Final Transer. That was more of Persian Warrior keeping the caster safe than it was like, why didn't Scroot just walk his Slann into the whole army in Final Transer? For Scroot, his Slann did fine. Red Crest Skinks did pretty well overall. Skink Skirmishers did pretty well overall. The Jab Skinks did fine as well. Really, the Quaddles caused some disruption too, but it was a very close game. Just couldn't quite finish off them. Ozek! If you are who I think you are, we cast your Norska game earlier. That was fun. If you're not who I think you are, then I apologize for mislabeling who you are. That's my bad. That's my bad. Let's click on a name. Click on this paintbrush and give Persian Warrior his checkmark. Next up, Razal versus Black Knight. Razal. Black Knight on his beloved High Elves versus Razal on his beloved Beastmen. These are actually two pseudo-faction 1 tricks. Black Knight plays the other elves when he has to, but he always plays High Elves. So 2 pseudo-faction 1 tricks versus each other. Akina's not Aztec. That's my bad. That's my bad. All right. We have Imric and a Star Dragon, but not in the same entity. That is Horse Imric and a regular-ass Star Dragon. for Black Knight and the High Elves. Rahagra's Pride and the Fireborn, we have the Black Knight Classic Foot Lifecaster of the Elves with only Earthblood. Bunch of Law of the Sea Garden Archers, and some Illyrian Reapers. For the Beastmen, we have Malagor Dark Omen with Pendulum and Flock of Doom. That's a little different. Some Centaurs with Throwing Axes. We have the Sons of Goros, Centaur ROR with great weapons. Pestigors, Ungor Spearman Herds, and some Tuskor Chariots, which I recently have also been getting a lot of enjoyment out of versus infantry. The main problem is when the opponent doesn't bring any infantry and then I bring Tuskor Chariots and I look like an asshole. Rahagra's Pride charge into the Pestigors, already lowering their leadership by quite a lot, but they don't pop their little roar because it's not going to be enough to actually win the day, and they do retreat, getting an Earthblood as the Sons of Goros come in. Now Razal's starting to get through the back line. Nice Pendulum down the side of the Archers, but that is why you don't see Pendulum much, is that spell is expensive and slow and doesn't instantly delete a unit. Not that I'm saying it should, but when it doesn't instantly delete a unit, it is pretty hard to justify when you could just take Burning Head. It does almost the same thing, but better. Illyrian Reavers and Imric taking a good fight on the front line with Sons of Goros. Meanwhile, where are the Fireborn going? Okay, their flag is further than the unit is, as they're just surrounding and beating up a Minotaur, actually getting insanely good value. So far, the High Elves are loving every engagement they're getting. Nice mighty roar from their Rahagra's Pride, get the Tuskor Chariot to rout in front of the Star Dragon, but Pestigors have come in. I don't think that the High Elves want to take an extended fight on those Pestigors with just Lother and Seaguard and War Lions. They really want to charge in and out. Now the Fireborn, what started out so great is starting to go to shit as a bunch of throwing axes are fighting them, plus some cheap spears helping out the Minotaurs. So all of a sudden they need to retreat and they're having a very bad time of it. Archers are trying to fire. Some of the Minotaurs actually got past the Fireborn and are hitting the Archers. So how the hell? Anticity raided me. What does Anticity want? Hi, Anticity. But I'm kind of surprised the Fireborn were getting messed up that badly if the Minotaurs were also pathing past them to get to the Archers. So at the start of the game, the High Elves were getting everything they wanted. Now the Beastmen are really scrapping it back. They're getting a ton of great engagements. The Fireborn are all of a sudden routing. Rahagra's Pride are very, very low. Archers are going to tear out soon. And Imric's just on his horse. This isn't Dragon Imric. He can't, like, win a whole game or anything. Star Dragon gets into this guy. Now, it still has full HP and plenty of healing to come in from Earthblood casters, but its breath attack is kind of limp, unfortunately, and that is still a full health Minotaur with great weapon. That's the big problem. If the High Elves can somehow take that out with taking no damage in return, they can win this game. But I think if you have to fight it with Imric or the Star Dragon, you're going to take so much in response that it'll still be a good trade for the Beastmen. The High Elf Spears are holding for now, but so are the Beastmen Chaff. Both Chaff are holding. I mean, High Elf Chaff for 500 gold to do nothing and stand around with insanely high melee defense. Doesn't mean they're going to kill shit. As Razal gets a beautiful rear charge in with these Centaurs. That should rout the Spearmen. Their damned High Elf morale should rout, but it looks like it's not going to. Ungor Spearman Herds nearby routing. Doesn't give them enough leadership. They do eventually fall. Star Dragon's still trying to chase down the Minotaurs. Oh, that's why. Okay, I was like, why doesn't his Minotaurs just turn and take this fight? What am I missing? I'm missing a half-health spear right behind the Star Dragon. So Black Knight's trying to force an engagement with these units on top of his spears while he still has spears. He sees the writing on the wall. Malagor's Flock of Dooms are attritioning out his spear units, so he wants to take a fight on top of the last one that he really has. Earthblood out to heal it and the Star Dragon. Razal says, fine, punk, if you want to find the top of these spears, I can. To all the French players, I hear Flaming Sword is good. Flaming Sword is not good, Anticity. No, it is. It is. I'm kidding. Don't hurt me. Flaming Sword is great. Flaming Sword is great. I've never said it's not great. Elsewhere, Razal and his Beastmen are tearing up the High Elves. Another good omen for Team France here. As basic Star Dragon, I don't like them. We recently allowed 2 Star Dragons in our battles, and a lot of people said it's OP. When I see 1 Star Dragon, I see them flounder around and get nothing done, unless it's Imric on top of it, so I'm curious to see these double Star Dragons. And Star Dragon is now completely mobbed by... Oh, look at all these monstrous infantry! Look at it! It just can't escape in any direction. Completely surrounded. There we go. It got past some of the Minotaurs, but that's because it's routing. It might be shattering. Imric on just his little horse. I wish Imric could hop off of his horse, hop onto the Star Dragon. That'd be nice. Can help get more people in multiplayer. Thanks, Anticity. Love, yo. I love Flaming Sword, Anticity. How dare you? He's just being polite because he didn't read your sarcasm. Getting trolled by Anticity. Funny. Alright. Well, Anticity... I know Canada lost, and that might make you sad. We lost this game. But Vampire Coast did win the game we just finished, so that has to make you kind of happy, right? For the High Elves, the very start of the game looked great, and after that, it fell off a cliff for them as far as their hopes went. Razal really took the game back in the mid game, and then the late game did exactly what he needed to. Kept his Minotaurs nice and safe where he needed. Centaurs ran down everything, and then in the end, he did take a disadvantageous fight versus the Star Dragon, but he just had such overwhelming numbers that he could even kill the Spears and the Star Dragon at the same time. All right. So GG's to Razal. Still have 3 games left. Where am I going? There we are. France. Ah! Ah! That 3 wasn't real. The 3 can't hurt you. Desktop. Boom. Razal with a W. Alfredino versus Lenor. Now for Canada, they have to 3-0 sweep to come back. Alfredino being your starter to make the comeback, that's not great. That's pretty brutal. But all right. Lenor, what do you got? Can you beat the current best player in the world to keep Canada's hopes alive? And Alfredino's on Demons of Chaos. Okay. Okay. Now, Copium. Tzeentch is pretty good versus Demons of Chaos. All your units do magic damage. By Anticity. We're coping. We're coping hard. Seekers, Heartseekers, Hellforged Bellowers versus a lot of infantry, but he has the Soul Grinder. Okay. He took a lot of infantry. We were going to get mad. We were going to go on another rant because chat loves those. I'm kidding. I wasn't going to. But he does have the Soul Grinder. He has Blue Fire to counter the Hellforged Bellowers, which everybody says is uncounterable. And I think you're all liars. So 5 Seekers, one of which is the ROR Eternal Entourage Heartseekers of Slaanesh, so 4 real Seekers. Hellforged Bellowers, Svarik with Blue Fire and the thingy, the Infernal Gateway. 2 Bloodletters and the Shrieking Skyrays. Looks like Humbo is completely right now. I'll be suffering about it. God damn it, Canada. All right, on the other side, we have the Soul Grinder, which is a good counter to the Hellforged Bellowers, plus Kairos with Glean Magic. Oh, interesting. I have not seen Glean Magic used in a lot of games. He's going to use it immediately onto Svarik. Gets himself some reserves, some power recharge, silences his enemy, gives himself spell mastery. And he has Blue Fire to also counterfire against the Skull Cannon. Other than that, a lot of blue horrors and pink horrors. A lot of them, and then some spears. This is pure counter Seekers. I like this a lot, actually. Magic damage, volume of fire versus 5 armor, no shields Seekers, and you're just like, you're kind of like, you know how earlier we were talking about Kislev versus the Hellforged Bellowers? I promise this isn't about the Hellforged Bellowers. But you know how earlier versus the Hellforged Bellowers was like, Kislev just has no good targets to shoot at for the Hellforged Bellowers. This is that, but for Seekers. Lenorm's just like, what are your Seekers going to charge? Just horrors, blue horrors, pink horrors, all of them are hybrid melees, and nice Gaze of Fate net from Kairos to lock these Seekers in place. Now there's other Seekers that come in. Good job from Alfredino to disrupt the Sour Guts just as they were about to fire at these Seekers, so he kept them nice and safe, but they are still taking a bad fight into basic spears. The Hellforged Bellowers not bothering to kite because it sees the writing on the wall. Blue Fire plus the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch was going to out-kite it, so they just rush in immediately. Now it's getting used as an overpriced chariot, so pretty unfortunate there, but he had to do what he had to do. Infernal Gateway is out. Tzeentchian Barriers eating a lot of that damage as these guys try and dodge away from it. Kairos is just lurking in the sky, staying nice and safe, but the Bloodletters have hit the front line. They'll kill blue horrors really fast, and it's looking a little tough for Tzeentch here, but Tzeentch brought a lot of units. He can trade 1 for 1 or even 2 for 1 and come out advantaged in some places. Svarik is getting crazy low, actually. A Bolt of Change is going to hit him as well. He's down to less than half HP as another Bolt of Change. What the? Oh, okay, it just hadn't gone away yet. Okay, calm down, everybody. Seekers all sitting around half HP if I round them, which is not ideal. And Lenor is actually pulling ahead on balance of power. Kairos is still full HP. He's got Glean Magic going again. He does. He's silencing Svarik and stealing those Winds of Magic reserves. The Bloodletter's doing a lot of work for Alfredino, cutting through these guys. Hellforged Bellower is still trying to kill the Pink Horrors too. A lot of demonic instability crumbling from both sides. but Kairos pulls further ahead. And what is this? Some sort of gaze of fate. Who's it for? It is from Alfredino onto the Soul Grinder as he's going to charge it with the Shrieking Skyrays, but another blue fire out. Kairos has now moved to sniping out Svark. Not going to bother. I like this a lot. Not going to bother shooting the Hellforge Bellows, which is full HP and healing in melee. You just want to finish off Svark. You don't want to spread that damage out, especially versus Demons of Chaos. You never know if they're going to get a tier 2 army ability, Fecundity of Nurgle, that could heal these guys up. So Lenor wants to finish what he started. And of course, when you're fighting the Demons of Chaos, killing their lord can help quite a lot. Pops Oracle of Eternity when he was not in danger at all. What was that for? Is he doing an Overcast? He just wants to avoid the Overcast damage? I don't know why he popped that damage resist. It could just be a mistake. I suppose that's possible. More Seekers fading away. We still have the Eternal Entourage. And another blue fire is out. Alfredino still going with those Infernal Gateways to kill off the Spearmen, but Lenorm is happy to just spam blue fires on cooldown at Svark, really tax his HP, and bring him down to earth. The Soul Grinder needs to stay alive. Needs to get back into some spears somehow. It is trying to run away right now. Another Gaze of Fate is out, but for who? Ooh, it's from Lenorm. The Eternal Entourage stuck fighting cheap, shitty spears, and they can't leave. As Svark gets sniped out, he needs to dive in for extra leadership and to provide that terror as he's starting to knock away some of the Marauders of Spears. Starting to tear out some of the Eternal Entourage are gone. Svark's down to 650 HP. One more blue fire is the death of him for sure. The Demons of Chaos are on a timer before these Seekers will die. This Bloodletter will die without their lord. A blue fire is out from him, but the Overcast damage does too much, or did Kairos hit him while he wasn't looking? 25 HP for Svark. Svark is down. And without their lord, the demons should fade away, but the Soul Grinder has been successfully sniped out. The Soul Grinder is the big thing that can deal with the Hellforge Bellowers. And the demonic instability has come for it. It will die, as will the Seekers next to him, but that makes this very intense, because with the Soul Grinder, if it was still alive and it could hide on the spears and bait you into a bad fight and shoot the Hellforge Bellowers, that would be nice, but now the Hellforge Bellowers can use that ammunition to kill off all the Marauders and leave just Kairos Fateweaver in the late game. Kairos can probably beat the Hellforge Bellowers. Kairos can't do shit about the Shrieking Skyrays. Kairos is love. Kairos was regrowth. Hellforge Bellowers, beautiful shot on the Marauders of Tzeentch with spears, as we have noted. They've been stuck in melee this whole game, so they really haven't gotten that much value, but that's because he couldn't afford to sit and kite with them. Now he can. Now he can kite with them as much as he wants as blue fire goes down on both these Bloodletters. Oracle of Eternity down, 44% damage resistance as Kairos charges in. He has some Marauders to fall back to, but they're all quite damaged. He's got to stop that Hellforge Bellower from killing his last healthy spear, because he needs that. But the problem is the healthy spear isn't nearby to save him from the Shrieking Skyrays as Kairos jumps in. But his 44% damage resistance is proven to be quite a nuisance. Shrieking Skyrays haven't even got through his barriers just yet. Kairos probably wants to get back up in the sky. He has blue fire off cooldown once again, so he wants to get at a better angle. But looks like he's just going to fire it on the ground while he can. Good damage onto both Bloodletters, honestly. Getting close to getting them to Demonic Stability crumble. But the Shrieking Skyrays by Alfredino. Gonna rout off the Marauders of Tzeentch. There go Bloodletter number 1, already routing. Not routing. Demonic Stability crumbling. They don't rout. 6 leadership for the other one. And Alfredino tries to take the point. This is Conquest, by the way. No one's tried to take the point, but this is technically Conquest. This is a tourney of French versus French. No, Lenorm is Canadian, but yeah, I guess it's French versus French. Ooh, that is so nasty. Gaze of Fate in the spears. The Shrieking Skyrays can't do their cycle charging bullshit. They're just stuck fighting these cheap-ass spears with 0 melee attacks, so they can't fight back. They're taking so much damage. Once again, Tzeentch has pure magic damage, so their physical resistance is not helping them at all. As Kairos is getting good damage out, all of a sudden, Alfredino is very far behind on the balance of power, and I would tend to agree, but we still have Bloodletters. We still have the Shrieking Skyrays, and if they can get off another Lamprey's bite, they can clean out the last the Marauders with spears, but they can't hold. Demonic Instability is a hell of a drug, and they get killed off. The Bloodletters and the Hellforge Bellowers, what can they do? I don't know if they can kill Kairos at this point, because without the Bloodletters, without the Shrieking Skyrays, Kairos can probably duel the Hellforge Bellowers to death, especially in Conquest, where you don't have to obey any attacking rules, so whenever his barriers are down, he can just go back up into the sky and be fine. Hellforge Bellowers takes big damage. They can't carry this hard. 1,000, probably 1,100 value by the time the game ends, but I don't think they'll get much more than that. Spears slowly poking down the Hellforge Bellowers, but it's also healing off of them at the same time. But Kairos can get up in the air. He can use blue fire, and army losses is going to make sure he doesn't even have to. So Lenor pulls off an upset, beats Alfredino on one of the best factions, With, I mean, Tzeentch is no slouch. It's not like Tzeentch is a troll faction, but very good win from Lenor to keep Canada in it. Really needed that win out of him. Svarek got decent value. Seekers did mixed versus Lenorm's build, but Lenorm's build was very, very strong versus Seekers, and honestly strong versus the Hellforge Bellers too. This build is just gorgeous. It's so well thought out. He played it fantastically too. I'm not just trying to say like build diff, he wins, but I don't know. This was really, really smart stuff. No targets for the Seekers. Good counters to the Skull Cannon, so it can't just kill all your infantry. Very, very, very nice. You love to see it. So Canada is on the board. They have to complete a 3-0 though, so one game. Hurrah, good for you. You still got to win 2 more. Rocket versus Goldenfloof. Catholic Alcoholic versus Rusto. And there's Rocket on the Tomb Kings versus Beastmen with Double Giant. This does not look like the build he was expecting. If you take Double Giant, you want to deal with Double Cat. Looks like he gets 1 cat. I believe Cetra is on a kitty cat. So regrowth isn't that strong anymore? Kairos does not have regrowth. They took it away from him. They said no, and they slapped him on the nose with the newspaper. All right, Skeleton Warriors for a front line for the Tomb Kings, Skeleton Spearmen. We have Chosen the Gods who shot great bows, 2 Sepulchral Stalkers, 4 Skeleton Horse Archers, Cetra the Perishable on his kitty cat, and then some Carrions. And it looks like a melee Ushopti or 2. Just one. For the Beastmen, front line of Zongors and Ungor Spearmen herds, some Centaurs of Tzeentch and some Centaurs of Throwing Axes, 4 Archers, 5 Archers, 4 Archers, Double Giant, and a Foot Wilds Caster with just Traderkin. Okay, cool. It is Conquest. So the Tomb Kings see a full Vanguard army and they back up, assessing the situation. The Beastmen say, okay, we'll take the center of the map, that's fine. He got his attack speed ability? Yeah, that one's not great. Burnt. Chosen the Gods were shooting at a Giant, realizing it wasn't doing that much damage. They switch on to the Centaurs with Throwing Axes, which is a much better target for them. And the frontline fight has commenced. Now, Skeleton Spearmen front lines for the Tomb Kings will lose to pretty much everything besides Skaven slaves and peasants, like literal peasant mobs for Bretonnia. These guys are some of the worst infantry in the game as far as dealing damage. Now, they're just undead. They're supposed to be tanky and last a while. So the Tomb Kings are going to have to get a lot of damage out while this is happening because your front line is going to die. Looks like the Carrion are flying back to harass some of the Archers. And the Sepulchral Stalkers are moving up to deal with Giants. The Giants, I like this. They're not overextending. They're realizing the Chosen the Gods can't shoot them, so the Sepulchral Stalkers are what have to kill them. And they tried to stay back. Now, they do need to be microed. Like, now that they're getting shot, they need to back the fuck off. Because they're just getting shot for free right now, so I don't love that. But earlier, I like the plan, just not committing the Giants too early. But now, they really have to back off. This is a huge mistake from the Beastman player. Looks like he's distracted over here. He's using Traderkin. He's getting some decent cav engagements or whatever, but this giant did just stand and let 3/4 of his... The health bar visually is deceiving, but up here it's more like half. But he lost half his HP for free, just not paying attention to that Giant, and that is a pretty bad blunder. Not going to sugarcoat that. Elsewhere, the Beastman frontline is winning, as you would expect. And Centaurs are doing a good job peeling Carrion. I saw a Carrion dying over there. This one's going to die right here. And the Giant is getting a good fight with those regular Ushopti, who are real. That's not the Tomb Kings tier 3 summon or anything. For the Tomb Kings, though, their units they care about are all fine. Cetra's full health. Their Skeleton Horse Archers are full health and firing. Both the Sepulchral Stalkers and the Ushopti Great Bows are all full health. They've lost a bunch of chaff. That's what chaff's for. That's literally the point. They've started pulling ahead their Skeleton Spears to form a secondary line so that their front line doesn't collapse when these Skeleton Warriors fade away, and in comes the Ushopti Summon. So that is a fake Ushopti Summon that's going to run down some Archers. For the Giants, one of the Giants is about to die, the other one's at half HP, and those are your big anti-Cetra tools. Now, also so is Traderkin, but I believe, yeah, Undercast Traderkins are more efficient. Cetra's gigantic HP pool, though, makes it difficult to really kill him with Traderkins. They're still fine, they do fine damage to him, it's fine. But fine isn't like insta-kill this unit. And the Tomb Kings are starting to pull ahead. I do agree. Centaurs are going to have to turn this game around drastically. And they're starting to. Good fight on the Sporkle Stalkers and a Skeleton Horse Archer, so this is a really good play for the Beastmen to get back in this game. But elsewhere, the Centaurs are going to have to get some serious work done. Throwing Axes need to kill etc. Great Weapons need to kill etc. But it looks like they got peeled off by just too much damage over time. One of the Sporkle Stalkers is at half HP. This other one's slowly dying to Centaurs, but it looks like some of the Centaurs are getting distracted by spears. We still have 2 Carrion healthy enough to chase off Beastmen routing units, which Beastmen routing units is a common occurrence. Meanwhile, in the back, Zongors find their way onto the Sporkle Stalkers. This unit is so spread out, and its flag was way over here. I don't think Rocket actually knows where the unit was. You can see as soon as they start mobbing the Sporkle Stalkers, he starts to run away. So I think he just thought they were further away when they were. Otherwise, he would have kited earlier. Ushapti Summon fades away in 11 seconds. The Giant has returned, but to what end? And Cetra is actually just spending all of his time cycle charging infantry. He's ignoring the enemy caster. He's not going to try and snipe him out, which I'm a little surprised by. I think he's worried about the Giant closing in there, because even at that low HP, the Giant still has 3,500 HP. So you don't want to mess with him, I guess. Zongor is continuing to harass Sporkle Stalkers while getting rear charged by Skirmish Cav. But it looks like the Beastmen are just too low. Their healthy units are almost all archers. 2 full health archers over here, a half health one in the distance, a third health one over there-ish. They don't have enough oomph left. For the Tomb Kings, Summon has faded, so now all their units are real units. We have 1.5 skeleton spears total. 2 Carrion-ish. But the Sporkle Stalkers, the Ushap Grapos, etc., the things we were talking about at the start of the game, Rocket has managed to keep them all very healthy. So, really good defensive priority from him, clearly. He kept all of his important stuff alive, traded away all of his chaff, which was born to die. Now, this is not great. Just as I was singing his praises, gets charged by Centaurs, gets hit with throwing axes and archers. His Sporkle Stalkers are taking a good amount of damage. Don't love that, but someone has to take damage while the other guys shoot. Chosen Gods, they're firing. Skirmish Cavs all firing. Everything's firing. And Cetra's now starting to get involved. That Giant is now low enough that even Cetra's not afraid of him. But he is afraid of mass archer fire on top of a Traderkin. Lost a couple thousand HP for that one. And the Beastmen have the conquest point, though I really doubt we're going to get to the point where that matters too much. In the distance, full health Carrion is now at half HP as it continues to chase Centaurs, but wait a second. Hold on, I just want to see this. Did they literally corner them? Holy shit, they literally cornered them. Ah! I closed my tab. They chase these Centaurs to the ends of the earth. Oh, that's funny. Alright, Chosen the Gods are now just basic melee Ushapti with lower stats. They've lost all their ammo. But Cetra is busy routing off all the Ungur Raiders. Sporkle Stalkers are getting pretty low too. So the Beastmen getting a lot of good damage out, but they just don't have enough left to really win this game, as Cetra's going to be able to kill everything left, and we still have 2 Skeleton Horse Archers able to chase down anything that routes. In the distance, those Carrion did eventually beat the cornered Centaurs. Spooky burbs. White line camping. Sporkle Stalkers take down the Giant. He falls. His flag disappears. And another Traderkin out onto Cetra. As the archers are doing their jobs, but so will 400 gold light cavalry, now charging straight up to your already wounded and scared Beastmen archers. Go, my skeleton horsies, go! Yeah, they're routing. That should cause a chain route that'll cause army losses. Should. Because these archers are pretty soon to routing. No? No chain route into army losses? No? No? The Carrion coming on the backside of these Ungur Raiders, that should shut those guys down. Assyrian's Incantation of Vengeance finishes off those Centaurs, and then that'll lead to a chain route into army losses. There we go. There we go. That is 3-1 for France. Before you even dare think about leaving, we still are casting the 5th game. For Rocket, Cetra did good work. His chaff all got mulched. Some of it almost paid for itself, but most of it just got killed because that's their job. Skeleton Horse Archers did fine. Sporkle Stalkers, good value. Chosen Gods, pretty great value. Other side, the Giants just couldn't take the fight. Like I said, they were hoping for the double kitty cat build. Much wider and much more shooty Tomb Kings is very bad for the Giants, and they felt it. Elsewhere, his Centaurs, his melee troops, and his archers did good work trying to pick up the slack, but having like 2,800 wasted gold, I say wasted, it's not his fault, it's just what he was trying to fight wasn't here. But having that and even taking the game close is impressive, but not impressive enough because Rocket fucking won. Too bad humans just ending the stream. Oh, it's true. I love ending the stream. I love it. It's my favorite. I love ending things. Boom. Rocket with the check mark. Apparently it's a smiley face now. Look at that. Look at that smiley face. Look at him go. Last game is Alfredino, not Alfredino, Catholic Alcoholic versus Rusto. Don't know why I thought Alfredino was playing. That's not true. Gotta open up the Total Tavern mod map pack. Excuse me for a moment. Good night, fun stream. Hey! Hey! No good night. No good night. Verdun? Yeah. I don't know if that's a good Verdun or bad Verdun, but good Verdun. Hey, we got some Kislev versus Slaanesh. That's fine. Yeah. A lot of faction war replays too. All right, last game of the day of our triple stream. We have Catholic Alcoholic versus Rusto, Kislev versus Slaanesh. Don't touch that dial. It's true. Don't touch that dial. Will Faction War be one big stream? No, I usually do left side, right side, and the top 4 live. So left side is replays, right side is replays, and then top 4 is live. Yes, yes, yes. Slaanesh build is very simple to start out. He spawned as many armored Chaos Warriors as he could. Okay, Zarina felt like screaming at me. Some have Hell Scourges, some don't, but it's a heavy armor front line. It takes a while to walk them up there, so to get one coordinated push, he's going to use them in his first slot, you know, his first starting army, so they can all start pushing up at the same time. And then he can summon in faster units that can catch up as they need to and engage in things. Rather than have a bunch of fast units that have nothing to do and then slowly trickle in Chaos Warriors, it's nice to have a nice coordinated push. Next to them, he has a Razal. Pavane as his only spell, and then his Discouraged debuff and Temptator for extra tankiness. On the other side for Kislev. Kislevite warriors with their armor piercing, even though they're anti-large, will be wasted versus the Chaos Warriors, just the armor piercing is very nice. And you have the Wolf Hearts, Auction Ambushers with a net, a bunch of cheap archers, because he wasn't sure if he was going to get spammed with Seekers or not. And we do have a Patriarch in the front line with the Vigor replenishment for extra leadership, I guess, and then Silik's Lullaby. We have Zarina Katerin on her ice sled, wandering around. She brought Death Frost and Ice Maiden's Kiss. And the Ice Sled is very good versus all these Chaos Warriors. Death Frost already poking Azazel a little bit. A Frost Worm is also summoned. A naked Frost Worm. Huh. Look at him go. Kind of surprised to see this guy here at all if he's not the Zarina's mount. Is it just Azazel and a ton of Chaos Warriors? Yes. Though now he's saved up some money to get the Eternal Entourage. So I'm sure he was looking to maybe rampage Zarina Katerin and then hit her with the Eternal Entourage and just one-shot her. That would be pretty funny. Kislev is set up a defensive position, but its defensive position barely touches 2 points. You can see here, these guys are on the edge of this box. So now he can sacrifice point 1 to Slaanesh, but not overextend himself and separate out where Hellstriders or Seekers could find gaps in his formation and shut down his archers. He's just got a nice tight formation, but on 2 fronts. This also does mean, though, that if Slaanesh gets one good engagement, they're going to kill, like, all of your army and instantly win the game. So it's not high risk, high reward, but there is risk in being this clustered up. Did they fix the Frost Worm? Yeah, they made it pretty good. I'd say the standalone monster is okay. It's neither great nor is it bad. And as a mount for the mages, it's amazing. Looks like Slaanesh is trying to build up forces so that they can charge the Kislev defensive position all at once. I don't know what Kislev's building up supplies for, because they're building up a lot. I'm going to times 2 speed till either Slanesh decides to collapse in or... Wow, another Frostworm? That feels weird. I guess, like, the Frostworms are going to be good at killing Chaos Warriors because they can just collision damage these guys down, but it feels weird to just invest in that much single entity power on domination. Frostworm is going to try and slither over, but we did see some Seekers summoned. And yeah, it's immediately going to fall back. It doesn't want to get caught out here, surrounded by Seekers. Doesn't want Azazel to rampage it into the Seekers, and then it just dies. So they're going to fall back. But, like, it's not on Kislev to change the state of the game. Slanesh has to. Because basic math, 2 is better than 1. And Catholic is getting a lead on the balance of power. So the ticket thing. The domination balance of power. In comes some Winged Lancers, going to side charge down the Chaos Warriors of Slanesh. They don't have armor piercing, but still. Cavalry charging heavy infantry that aren't halberds will generally favor the heavy cav, as long as they keep microing, keep cycle charging. We can see there are no Seekers nearby. One is getting summoned now, but Azazel's also not here to provide a rampage or anything, so I do think that the Zarina and the Frostworm should be able to get off one charge and then retreat. Azazel would have to get over here in a hurry to provide that rampage. Okay, the Zarina and the Frostworm need to retreat. Azazel's not here. He's trying to travel with his Eternal Entourage, but I thought he needed to cut further along the front line. Get here in time. Ooh, maybe he will. Maybe he will. Rampage, rampage, rampage. Not gonna do it. He's not even flying straight here. I don't know why he didn't, like, path straight here for the rampage. That was a big missed opportunity, in my opinion. Now, the slow surround is coming in. Forsaken falling back for some reason. I think this surround is taxing his micro a bit, because we see a couple units going to insufficient places, like places that are away from the battle, and then we see Forsaken just running away. So I do think he's getting flustered from how many clicks he has to do at the moment. Pretty good wraparound from Slanesh. Most of these sides are coming in at the same time. Now we'll see what the Frostworms and Zarina can do. Zarina's almost out of ammo for whatever that's worth. But Slanesh needs to get in here. They need to take some points. They need to break up this box. Kislev has a lot of tickets. They have 4,000 supplies racked up. So these Seekers are going to have to be careful not to get rear charged by Griffin Legion that just spawn right behind them and rear charge them or something. Chaos Warriors and Slanesh fighting the double Frostworms. Without collision attacks, though, these guys don't do that much damage to infantry, so when they're just stuck fighting them, they won't do as much damage as you would expect. As Zarina is charging straight through these guys, Chaos Warriors just fighting against Winged Lancers who get paveined into the fight. And the Seekers have lined up on the back. There's a Griffin Legion. We have called what was going to happen, but it's not like the Seekers are already in combat, so maybe the Seekers can turn around. If the Seekers take a charge with the Griffin Legion, they'll trade up. But they don't see it coming. Pack Trap, yeah. Wolfheart's just Wolfheart's netting these guys in place. The Griffin Legion do get dodged by the Seekers. I don't know if the Seekers have seen them yet. And the double Frostworms are coming over to deal with the Zazels. He pops Temptator, reducing 20% of the damage of that spell. In come the Chaos Fairies. In comes everything. Slanesh is trying to collapse. And this is what we talked about at the start of the game. This is all or nothing. Basically, if Slanesh breaks this formation, they win the game. And if they lose this immediate fight, they'll probably be too far behind to ever regain position in this map again. Kislev Warriors getting nice and low. Winged Lancers also getting pretty low. The archers are mostly shut down. There's an awful lot of Slanesh cav in the back line. But again, from Rusto, I'm seeing some units just AFK, and that is unacceptable in a game this fast-paced. Griffin Legion escaped from the Seekers after taking extreme damage. The Winged Lancers should be able to finish these guys off. And the Eternal Entourage have yet to find a real fight. The double Frostworm chunk out Azazel. And Catholic Alcoholic is maintaining about a 1,000 damage value lead. Silik's Lullaby? No, it's Daz's Winter Song, giving vigor back to the Kislev Warriors. They're all fresh all of a sudden as Bar Blood gets popped. Slanesh is running out of oomph. They're running out of gusto. But some of Catholic Alcoholic's heavy cav isn't joining the fight as you would want them to. There is a rampage onto the Zarina, who is currently surrounded by the Eternal Entourage, getting a lot of damage out onto her. They don't even have a full perfect surround. They're still getting that much damage out, just down to half HP. But Azazel can't join the fight. He's pushed away by a Death Frost. He's getting very low. And the Seekers aren't able to quite finish off Katerin. The Frostworms are still rampaging through them, doing a lot of damage, and Catholic now pulls it ahead to a 2,000 damage value lead. Slanesh hasn't even taken point 2. Winged Lancers trying to get around those Chaos Warriors that were kind of harassing the spawn zone. Kind of surprised the Chaos Warriors are doing this poorly versus Kislev Warriors. I guess they are getting healing every so often from the Patriarch, but I think it's mostly because Chaos Warriors are so tanky, they don't really do that much damage. Eternal Entourage gonna die off. Other Seekers also trying to snipe out the Zarina, but she's getting a heal from Patriarch right now, and Azazel is nowhere to be found. He's staying away from her so that another Death Frost can't just kill him off, but that also means His rampages aren't nearby, his leadership's not nearby, his damage isn't nearby, so the Seekers just don't have that extra little bit of firepower. And I think that's probably the death of Slaanesh here. They have a crazy amount of heavy infantry, but as we saw, the Frostworm cycle charging through them is fine. Zarina cycle charging through them is fine. So without any of the Seekers, without Azazel, there's no mass. No one to keep anybody in the fight. Hazel has come to watch Azazel. True. Chaos Fury is taking a lot of damage, though Demonic Stability crumbles soon. There is another Death Frost. It must have been overcast to hit Azazel at that range, but it is enough to start getting him Demonic Stability crumbling. Even with Temptator to give the extra damage resistance, it just wasn't enough. So Azazel's going to die, lowering the leadership of Kislev further, and all these units will rout even faster. I think that's just GG. Like I said, that big engagement is the beginning, middle, and end of this game. If Slaanesh had broken it, Kislev wouldn't have enough momentum to get back into the game ever. And if Slaanesh didn't break through, which they didn't, I now think that they're lacking the real tools to get back in this game. Because by the time they build up another force to do another charge like that, let's just say they did, I mean, you only have 500 tickets left and Kislev still holds 2 points. They're going to capture before you can build up a whole other army and try again. It's just not going to happen. Frostworm is helping these Winged Lancers with Bara Blood finish off the Seekers in the distance. Maybe they can get them to Demonic Stability crumble before these guys break. The Winged Lancers breaking would save the Seekers leadership-wise, but it's too late now. They've taken all that Demonic Stability crumbling damage. Zarina's still cycle charging. There's no hope. Catholic maintains a 3,000 damage value lead. 2 capture points to 1 since the start of the game. That is about that. We had 165 people watching from the Intensity raid. If you like mostly land battles and conquest content, I sometimes dip into domination, but it's normally as part of larger events like this. I am not really a standalone domination caster. That might change in the future if I see a big market for it, but for right now, I'm just sticking with what I know. I know land battles. So if you like land battles and conquest, check out our channel. Daily video for multiplayer stuff. Usually 2 streams a week. Quite sure you can just cast the land battles with Total Tavern on and turn on and off between series. Well, Attack Speed Enjoyer, I didn't know that, and I refuse to learn. So, yeah. No, that's probably wise. I should take some time and just test it, but I've been crazy busy this January with work has been kind of insane, and I've had some health issues. Nothing like crazy, just everybody is sick now with the flu and the cold, and I'm no exception. So I had like it wasn't a cold, but it wasn't quite a flu. I had something for literally 3 weeks. I did some streams in that, but there were some days where my voice hurt so much I just couldn't cast at all. But that also puts me behind on videos. Then there are days where I would have been streaming that I just go do videos instead because I need to get those out. So yeah, January's been fucked up. Hopefully February is a little more consistent. I can stream more often. This should be the end. There's no army losses in domination, but I think there is literally mathematically no way for Slaanesh to come back, so I'm going to hit fast forward. Not to be a dick, just to be efficient with everybody's time. I literally don't think Slaanesh can win at this point.
No, the enemy has slain our lord.
Wow, the enemy has slain our lord. That's messed up. You still have 2 full health Frostworms and a Patriarch occasionally casting heals on them. That was his last heal.
I knew it.
That's it. Good attempt from Rusto. I think I don't want to boil it all down to one mistake, but I think when the Zarina overextended and he didn't path Azazel straight over to Rampager into those Seekers, he kind of sent Azazel and the Eternal Entourage around his back line, which is too far of a path. He couldn't quite get there. And I know he was worried about taking some damage from archers, but I honestly think that pick was so valuable, the potential pick was so valuable, that he should have just taken a little bit of damage from the archers, passed straight towards her, getting the rampage off, and then killed her with the Seekers. Didn't manage to do it. Zarina got back to the box, and then after that, like, just didn't have the power to break the box, unfortunately, for him. And I know I talked a lot about what Rusto was doing right or wrong in that. That's just kind of the nature of defensive formations. Defensive formations, it's less sexy to talk about because you're like, oh, is he going to hold in formation? He does hold in formation. Are his archers going to shoot at things? Oh my god, his archers are shooting at things. Holy fuckers, infantry going to hold? Ah, they held. You know, there's not a lot of decision makings. There's not a lot of like main character energy to apply to a defensive formation. So Catholic, wait, that was Catholic Alcoholic, was it? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Okay, Catholic Alcoholic. He played great build. I just didn't talk about him too much because it was low agency, so it was also hard to talk about in the first person. But he gets a dub. Bam. He doesn't get a smiley face. Only Rocket gets a smiley face. That is 4-1 to France, and then to update our World Cup standings, 3-2 for America versus America. Everything else was a 4-1 for the things. Now, because I'm an asshole and I can't let anybody forget it, remember at the start of this tournament, there were several people, several high-profile individuals that told me, Human Boy, you piece of shit. Human Boy, you stupid motherfucker. You have 5 buy-round slots, and you're not going to assign them randomly? I said no to this person. I said no to these several people. I sat them down in front of me, and I said, hey, now you listen here. I'm going to give the 5 buy rounds to the teams I think are the best. You know why I think they're the best? You know why? Because I want less stomps in my tournament. I want more close games. So I'm going to put teams that I think are closer together. I'm going to take the 5 best teams. I'm going to give them a buy round so they don't slap people around. Okay? Who was that? USA won. Team America? Boom. Semifinal. Who was that? Russia won? Boom. Got upset. That's my bad. Switzerland? Boom, semifinal. I gave Mexico a bye round. Boom, semifinal. France a bye round. Boom, semifinal. 4 semifinals, all filled with people I gave bye rounds to. Did it turn out they were the strongest? Yes. Did it turn out they would slap fools? Yes. Am I one of those fools? Yes. Human Boy knows what he's talking about sometimes. Okay, there will be one World Cup stream left. We will cover both semifinals and finals all in one stream. I don't know when it'll happen. It'll happen before February 10th because that is a deadline for the players to get all their games done. You can see the January 31st deadline is in 2 days. Some of these things we can see now that there's spoilers because now you know who's in the semis. We can see we have 2 games done from each semifinal. So there's 6 more to be done between the semifinals, then however long it takes the players to do the final 5. We'll cast all of those as one. It'll be nice, it'll be neat, it'll be cozy, it'll be fun. Also, for the faction war, as you can see, other hype things. Faction war, we have a lot of faction war stuff done. Some faction war round 2s that I've named obtusely so you don't see what factions they are. We even have a faction war round 3 done. That's insane. Look at all these faction war games we have to cast. That must mean, if my math is right, we're pretty fucking close to being ready to cast the faction war, and that is true. That is true, my friends. There's lots of hype, exciting content to arrive, and then if you are here, you could also, if you're paying attention, go to the announcements on my server. We don't just have faction war and some other stuff. We have, if you're a new player, we have 4 tournaments this month. Each of those tournaments' winners will be invited to a top 4 bracket. First place of that bracket will get all of the DLC for Total War Warhammer 1, 2, and 3 that you don't already own gifted to you. So if you win the tournaments, you will get all the DLC you don't have. That's pretty fucking hype. I think that's like, what? All the DLC not on sale is like literally over $300. If you get 2nd through 4th in that top 4 tournament thing, you'll get 1 free DLC of your choice. CA is helping me with that a bit. They're giving me some DLC codes to give to people. So thanks, CA. Big ups. Those 4 qualifiers are listed here. That's for if you're a newer or lesser, like, not try hard. Also, don't want to say skill because it's mean, but also, like, realistically, not everyone is fucking Alfredino, right? So if you are a player who does not consider themselves to be, like, in the top tier tournament players, these are for you. You can sign up for them. We have a common sense, no argument sign up, which means if we tell you you're not a new player, you're not a fucking new player. If you are a sweaty tryhard and have all the DLCs, we have a very similar setup. We have 4 tournaments listed here. First prize, again, each of these tournaments, I take a winner from each one. We'll have 4 people then. We'll do a bracket. If you play in that top 4 bracket at all, you get 35 Steam monies. If you get first place, you would get 100 Steam monies in 4 tournaments throughout February. So there's sweaty tryhard tournaments, there's new player tournaments. February is the big tournament month, even if you're not in the faction war, even if you're not in the World Cup. But we will also get a World Cup winner. We'll also get a faction war winner. You can see the secret faction war chat is right here. I could click on that. And you could see a lot of faction war spoilers. You could see who's in there. We could click on it. We're not gonna, but we could go right in there and just spoil the whole fucking thing. We're not gonna do it. Faction war spoilers. Flying Taco is a pooper. So, take that. There. Now you all know Flying Taco is a pooper. Get wrecked. That's all the announcements I have. Let's go find someone to raid. Does the winner get something if they own all the DLCs? No. No. We can talk about it. But Russia, though, the post does say if you can't accept Steam money, it goes to charity. Does the winner get something if they already own all the DLCs? I know I just read that, but I had to reread it. So here's the thing. We can work that out. If someone wins it who has all the DLCs, but also is someone I labeled as a new player, I'll probably just DM you and be like, hey, do you want like a $20 Steam gift card or something? Like, yeah, but I mean, because the player can't be too disappointed if they signed up for a thing and the prize was all the DLC, and then they're like, so what do I get if I have all the DLC? It's like, well, then you're not going to get that much of a prize. If you just played and had fun, that's great. I'm not saying you shouldn't play, but I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, I'm going to raid Radiant Ash. Go say hi to Ash. Ash is cool. Ash's viewership has been low, as all of our viewerships have been low with Warhammer 3 right now. I don't know if it's like people are sick of Warhammer 3 or if it's post Christmas just down times, but viewership's been pretty low. So go say hi to Ash. Bye, everybody.